Okay, 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 okay. Good morning. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depende kung nasang lupalop kayo while watching this go live. Nalimutan ko na yung yung intro ko whenever I do go lives, no? So, I think uh, lately marami na rin gumagamit ng ganun, no? Kasi talaga naman pagka go live, hindi mo alam kung yung audience mo o yung kausap mo eh good morning ang ibabati mo o good afternoon o good evening, di ba? Dahil your audience might be somewhere other than the place na nandito ako, like for example Pilipinas. So good morning syempre dahil good morning pa lang ngayon dito sa atin paano kung nasa Amerika, di ba? So good afternoon or good evening, more or less, baka nga madaling araw na. So anyway, yung kahapon na pinost ko, no, about doon sa free healthcare ni na sinabi ni PBBM doon sa kanyang 2025 SONA. I said last night, no, nag-intro ko, nag-teaser ako kagabi na ipo-point by point ko yung issue na yon through a vlog, no? Pero nung pinrint ko yung cheat sheet ko, no, I think it's going to be a very long vlog. So I opted na i-go live na lang, no. So anyway, kahapon, no, after ng meeting namin, pauwi kami. We were listening to, in the background, we were listening to the SONA ni President Marcos, no? President Bongbong Marcos. And obviously, being the LCIF advocate, no, I would look for statements in line, no, in line with LCIF or in line with health, no. And isa sa pumukaw ng attention ko is ito nga. Sabi niya kasi yung zero balance billing, no. Zero balance billing. That's the term he used, no. Na ulit-ulit niya sinabi na wala na tayong poproblemahin, pumunta lang tayo sa DOH hospital, wala na tayong poproblemahin financially. Bayad na. Kaya nga zero balance billing. Bayad na. Punta ka lang doon, punta lang tayo doon, and bayad na daw basta sa DOH hospital. And I just want to clarify this statement, this claim, no? Para naman yung mga Pilipino na may stroke, na may breast cancer, na may problema sa kidneys, at kung ano-ano pang mga sakit na supposedly maagapan natin or maa-address natin kung gagawin yung LCIF. Para pag pumunta kayo doon sa mga ospital, hindi kayo magulat, no? So I have to clarify what he said, no? So, in the SONA 2025, President Marcos proudly announced that patients in DOH hospitals no longer need to pay for stroke, breast cancer, kidney transplant, and similar illnesses thanks to a zero balance billing policy. That's the brand name, no? Political brand name, zero balance billing policy. It sounds free. Tunog parang wala na tayong babayaran, wala na kayong babayaran. But the truth of the matter is that it's far more expensive than you think. And as a certified financial planner and the one who popularized LCIF dito sa Pilipinas, I teach that wellness, no, yung health, and finance, personal finance to be exact, are directly linked. Sinabi ko na to over and over sa inyo noon na yung personal wellness at personal finance, hindi yan magkaiba. They are partners, no? Sabi ko sa inyo, magkatuwang, magkapatid, mag-asawa o kung ano man ang gusto nyong i-term, yung dalawang yan, personal wellness at personal finance. And both subjects, both topics are the topics that I share to you guys almost every single day for almost 20 years. Okay? For almost 20 years. So, here's the evidence-based breakdown, no? Nung zero billing policy, zero balance billing policy na yan. Para hindi kayo magulat. Lalo na yung mga ayaw sumunod sa LCIF. So if kayo yung tipo ng tao na ayaw sumunod sa LCIF, ayaw nyong gawin ng LCIF, whether kung ano man yung rason nyo, o kung may mga kakilala kayo na ayaw gawin ng LCIF, please listen to this Go Live. No, please listen to this Go Live. I don't do Go Lives as often as before. So, i-treasure nyo tong Go Live na to. Listen to this. The 5 key truths behind the zero balance billing. Number 1, yung zero balance billing only applies to select DOH hospitals. Hindi nag-a-apply ang zero balance billing, according to my research, hindi nag-a-apply ang zero balance billing kapag hindi DOH retained hospitals. Kapag hindi DOH retained hospital, hindi mag-a-apply ang zero balance billing. Hindi. And the question is, gaano ba karami ang DOH retained hospitals nationwide? Gaano karami? Around 80 hospitals lang nationwide. 80. Around 80. Sa susunod, ililista ko kung saan yon. Pero para hindi masyadong humaba yung Go Live, hindi ko ililista muna. Marami. So, pero sa perspective ng nation, ng bansa, yung 80, para sa napakadaming may sakit na Pilipino, lalo't hindi nyo ginagawa ang LCIF, konti lang yung 80 na yon. So kapag napunta kayo sa ospital na hindi kasama doon sa 80, hindi mag-a-apply yung zero balance billing. I hope I'm clear dyan. Most LGU-run university and private hospitals are excluded. Hindi kasama. Meaning, yung zero balance billing, kung pumunta ka dyan somewhere at hindi kasama sa DOH retained hospital, hindi mag-a-apply ang zero balance billing. Source of this claim, source of this statement, source of this sinasabi ko, PhilHealth Circular 0033-2013. Okay? So that's truth number 1. Truth number 2, yung zero balance billing na yon only covers fixed case rates, not actual costs. Ano ibig sabihin nun? Pag sinabing fixed case rates, kung ano lang yung sinabi na ceiling o presyo per case, per kaso, yun lang yung zero balance billing. Kung ano lang yung rate ng kaso, per kaso, yun lang ang sagot ng zero balance billing. For example, stroke, 28,000 pesos. Breast cancer, 100,000 to 110,000. Kidney transplant, 600,000. So kapag ka, for example lang, ayaw nyong gawin yung LCIF, carbs pa more, vegetable oil pa more, plant toxins pa more. So ganun ang ginagawa nyo. And then pumutok ngayon yung ugat nyo sa batok, na-stroke kayo, di ba? Kasi namamaga, may atherosclerosis, may inflammation, hindi makadaloy ng maganda yung dugo sa batok nyo. May ugat dyan, nagbara-bara, pumutok ngayon, na-stroke. Diba? Yung cause ng inflammation, one of the nutritional causes ng inflammation is carbs, vegetable oil, and of course, plant toxins. So, pumutok, na-stroke kayo ngayon kasi ayaw nyo nga gawin yung LCIF. Kasi naniniwala kayo dun sa mga sasayaw-sayaw na doktor, tsaka sa mga sasayaw-sayaw na fitness trainer. So, pumutok ngayon. Pagpunta mo sa DOH, retained hospital, oh, doc, nurse, sabi ni PBBM, zero balance billing policy. May stroke ako, ngayon nakaganto na ako, di ba? So, may stroke. Kailangan nyo akong gamutin. Sasabihin ng hospital, okay, DOH retained hospital kami, up to 28,000 pesos yung stroke. Oh, so, magkano ang bill ko, Doc? Ang bill mo, 500,000. So, sasagutin ba ng zero balance billing policy? Sasagutin ba ng gobyerno? Sasagutin ba ng PhilHealth in particular? Yung 500,000 pesos. That's the question eh. So, na-stroke ka, ang bill mo ngayon doon sa DOH Retained Hospital, 500,000. Stroke. So, sasagutin ba ng PhilHealth yung 500,000? Hindi. Hindi. Ang sasagutin ng PhilHealth is 472,000. Bakit? Kasi ang nakalagay doon sa fixed case rate. Okay, ang nakalagay sa fixed case rate ng stroke ay 28,000. So kung 500,000 yung bill mo sa stroke, sagot mo yung 472. Sagot ni PhilHealth yung 28. Gets nyo? So, uulitin ko, ang fixed case rate ng stroke according sa Philippine Heart Center, according sa Philippine Cancer Society, and according sa Philippine Society of Nephrology, ang fixed case rates ng stroke, breast cancer, and kidney transplant, 28,000 sa stroke, 100 to 110,000 sa breast cancer, at sa kidney transplant, 600,000. Ang actual cost ngayon, 2025. Okay? Kasi yung cost na yon, yung 28,000 sa stroke, breast cancer 100,000 to 110,000, kidney transplant 600,000, yung cost na yon, yung fixed case rate na yon, 2010 pa yon. According to Ibon Foundation Policy Brief and DOH audits, 2010 pa na presyo yon. 2025 na ngayon. 2025. Hindi pa presidente si Digong, si former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte, si FPRRD. Hindi pa siya presidente, presyo na yon. Yun yung presyo. So ngayon, after 15 years, ang presyo sa stroke hindi na 28,000. It's about 300 to 500,000. Sa breast cancer, hindi na 100 to 110,000. It's about 500 to 1.5 million pesos. Sa kidney transplant, hindi na 600,000. It's about 1.2 million to 2 million plus pesos. So, I need you guys to understand this, lalo na yung mga ayaw gawin ng LCIF. I need you guys to understand this. Yung zero balance billing, may ceiling yun. Zero balance billing, hindi yan unconditional. Hindi yan sky's the limit. May ceiling yan. Hindi ko na, of course, nailista lahat ng sakit dito, pero basically, may ceiling yan. Up to that ceiling lang. At yung ceiling na yon is based on 2010 prices. 2010 prices, not 2025. So, zero balance billing will apply up to a certain ceiling rate. Okay? So, whatever the difference, babayaran mo. Unless, i-waive ng ospital o doktor, which is discretionary. Swerte ka, di ba? Pero aasa ka ba sa swerte? So yung 420-something thousand na supposedly ikaw ang gagastos kung na-stroke ka, yung kakulangan, i-waive ng ospital o ng doktor, sana nga, di ba? Total, fan naman kayo ng mga doktor na yun eh. Sana nga, di ba? Sabi mo, Dok, pina-follow naman kita sa Facebook eh. Pina-follow naman kita sa Facebook. I-waive mo na yung 400 plus thousand na babayaran ko. Nakala ko kasi zero balance policy eh. Diba? Gets nyo? Okay. So, truth number 3, as I've mentioned kanina, the case rates, yung mga zero balance policy na ibabayad ng PhilHealth kapag ka nagkasakit, yung mga matitigas ang ulo sa LCIF, that's a 2010 price. These are 2010 prices. Prices of medicine, lab tests, ICU care, and surgeries have doubled or tripled since 2010. Yet, PhilHealth's reimbursements haven't changed. As I've mentioned, source or sources, Ibon Foundation policy brief, and DOH audits. Now, number 4, truth number 4. Out-of-pocket costs remain. So, meron pa rin kayong, even if mabayaran, kunwari, even if mabayaran yung sakit, at kunwari nga, 500,000, binayaran ng PhilHealth, 28,000. Diba? So, supposedly, may babayaran ka na 472,000. Assuming yung 472,000, winave ng ospital o doktor, mabait sila. Assuming, there would be still out-of-pocket expenses or costs, such as medicines na out of stock, mga gamot. Siyempre, kung na-stroke ka, meron kayong mga iniinom na mga maintenance dyan. So, yun, hindi na yung kasama. Lalo na kung hindi doon sa butika ng DOH Retained Hospital. Kadalasan, yung gamot na kailangan mo, wala naman. CT and MRI scans, hindi kasama. ICU costs beyond limit. Supplies like oxygen and IVs. Ambulance and follow-up meds. So, even if bayaran yung 28,000, even if i-waive ng hospital at doktor yung 472,000, meron ka pa rin babayaran on top of the zero balance billing. So that's about 10 to 100 plus thousand pesos pa rin. Hindi talaga zero balance billing. Ang ano lang is, gusto ko lang maintindihan nyo para hindi kayo magulat. Diba? Para hindi kayo magulat. Mamaya pagpunta nyo sa DOH Retained Hospital, hindi pala. Diba? Or worse, pagpunta nyo sa hospital, hindi pala DOH Retained Hospital yun. Pagpunta nyo, ay hindi po kami DOH Hospital. Paktay ka diha. Sabi nga sa Visayas area, di ba? So patay na. So number 5, truth number 5. Sa 2025, this 2025, walang PhilHealth subsidy. Walang PhilHealth subsidy. But the disease cases are rising. Walang subsidiya sa PhilHealth ngayong 2025. Noong 2023, ang subsidy ng gobyerno o inalat na budget ng gobyerno sa PhilHealth ay about 100 billion. Noong 2024, about 110 billion. Ngayong 2025, 0 pesos per peso. Walang binudget ang gobyerno para sa PhilHealth. Ang meron lang ang PhilHealth, ang source nito ay GAA 2025 and House Budget Reports. Ang meron lang ang PhilHealth ngayon is kung ano yung mga reserba nila. So yung reserba nila, tsaka yung contribution natin, okay? Yung contribution natin and yung reserve, yun lang yung gagamitin doon sa zero balance billing policy. Walang dinagdag ang gobyerno sa pondo ng PhilHealth. Walang dinagdag ngayong 2025. Okay? So, PhilHealth now relies solely on its 500 to 600 billion reserves. No new government funds. Wala this 2025. I'm not sure kung sa 2026 magkakaroon, sa 2027 magkakaroon, sa 2028 magkakaroon, hindi ko alam. Pero sigurado ako sa ngayong yung 2025, yung budget for 2025, wala. Okay? At sigurado ako na majority, no, contribution pa rin natin. Yung PhilHealth ko, yung PhilHealth ni Sean, yung PhilHealth ng kung sino-sino dyan. Pero it won't be enough because lifestyle diseases are worsening. Bakit it is worsening? Kasi hindi nyo ginagawa LCRF. Lifestyle diseases are worsening. Diabetes, there are about 7.1 million Filipinos who are now suffering from diabetes. Sayo-sayo tayo ulit sa TikTok. There are about 7.1 million diagnosed plus undiagnosed Filipinos who are now suffering sa diabetes. And yan, dagok sa PhilHealth. CKD, about 2.3 million with kidney disease. Around 35,700 on dialysis. Obesity, 40% of adults are overweight or obese. Sources, PMC, PSN, DOST, FNRI, GMA News. Now, I need to highlight this as the trailblazer of LCIF. I need to highlight this. Obesity. About 40% of adults, ibig sabihin, around what? Sa 10, 4. Okay? That's almost 50. No? Sa 10, 4. Obesity is equivalent to multiple government-billed illnesses. Obesity is not just about weight. It's the gateway to dozens of chronic, expensive diseases, each costing PhilHealth, the government, and the taxpayers, such as myself, you, and everyone else in this beautiful country. Yung mga medical complications of obesity may include one or a combo of the following. Type 2 diabetes. So pag obese ka, baka mauwi sa diabetes, madagdag ka doon sa 7.1 million Filipinos na may diabetes. Hypertension, coronary disease, or coronary heart disease, stroke, congestive heart failure, obstructive sleep apnea, gallbladder disease, fatty liver disease, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, chronic kidney disease, osteoarthritis, gout, polycystic ovary syndrome or ovarian syndrome or yung PCOS na tinatawag sa mga babae, breast, colon, liver, endometrial, kidney, and pancreatic cancers, GERD, depression and anxiety. They always talk about mental health and importante daw sa kanila yon. Ako, ito, paborito to ng mga erectile dysfunction, hindi na tinitigasan si Manoy, dementia, vascular and Alzheimer's, poor immune response, kaya takot na takot sa COVID. Sources of these are WHO, CDC, DOH, various peer-reviewed journals. Nearly every one of these illnesses is either subsidized by the government or adds pressure to public health budget. Sinabi ko na sa inyo noong 2022, when we filed our COC, ang LCIF is political. Sabi ko sa inyo, maraming magagawa ang LCIF, politically speaking. LCIF, no? No matter how you guys want to avoid the subject, everything is political. LCIF is political. As I've said, every one of these illnesses, lahat ng binanggit ko, sinasubsidiya yan ng gobyerno through PhilHealth at dagdadagdag ng pressure sa pondo ng bayan dahil the more people who are sick, the more budget we need for public health. Kung konti lang ang may sakit, hindi natin kakailanganin magdagdag ng budget para sa public health. Kasi konti lang. Pero kung padami ng padami, that would mean padami rin ng padami ang budget para sa disease management. Di ba? So, as I've mentioned before, LCIF can save 200 billion pesos per year. 200 billion pesos. If 10 million Filipinos, for example, adopted LCIF and prevent or reverse these illnesses, yung mga binanggit ko kanina, here is the estimated annual savings. Diabetes, kung 3 milyon, no? Times 120,000, times 30%, about 108 billion yung masasave. Sa stroke, hypertension, about 60 billion na masasave. Sa dinadialysis, about 12 billion na masasave. Cancer-related cases, about 20 billion. For a total of about, roughly, 200 billion. No? Sources, DOH, PhilHealth, disease prevalence estimates. So yung 200 billion na yun, as I've mentioned, LCIF is connected virtually sa kung ano, politically speaking. Yung health, in particular, is connected. So saan mapupunta, saan natin pwedeng magamit yung savings na 200 billion per year? Yung 200 billion na yon could, no, yung sinisigaw, yung galit na galit kayo kay Secretary Recto, na puro na lang tax, Tax dito, tax doon, tax dyan, tax doon, blah, 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 blah. These taxes can be lowered if makakatipid tayo ng around 200 billion pesos per year by doing LCIF. Meaning, bababa ang mga tax. Bababa ang tax kung ibababa. Pero, pwede nilang ibaba ang taxes natin. Pwedeng ibaba yung income tax, pwedeng ibaba yung mga consumption taxes like VAT, at kung ano-ano pa mga taxes dyan. Pwedeng maibaba yun. Pwedeng maibaba yun at maging less na dagok sa atin kasi meron tayong savings sa 200 billion pesos sa health by doing LCIF. Saan pa pwedeng mapunta yung 200 billion savings na yan? Pwedeng idagdag yung sinasabi ni Representative Eli ng Kamanggagawa Party List. Pwedeng maidagdag, no, sa mga sweldo ng teacher, nurses, and public workers. Pwedeng maidagdag doon yung pondo. Pwedeng kumurot doon sa 200 billion at idagdag doon sa mga magigiting nating mga public workers. Pwede natin doon ilagay. Pwedeng idagdag. We can also use the 200 billion pesos savings per year to strengthen disaster relief and energy programs. Diba? Ngayon, binubugbog tayo ng bagyo. 3 bagyo na kaya yata yung dumaan. We could strengthen disaster relief doon sa savings na yon. Okay? Energy programs, no, yung ginagawa ni Inay Ara, ginagawa ni Madam Beshi as the Pinay Power, no, sa renewable energy could be added to that. Improve public transportation and food security, pay down national debt, at kung ano-ano pa. So these are the things, no, na pwedeng mapaglagakan ng 200 billion savings natin if we do LCIF. Okay? LCIF is equivalent to smart national strategy because fewer sick people is equivalent to lower government spending. Pag konti ang may sakit, pag marami ang gumagawa ng LCIF, ibig sabihin konti ang magkakasakit. Pag konti ang magkakasakit, konti ang paglalagakan ng budget para sa sakit. So, bababa ang government spending sa sakit. Lower spending, lower government spending would mean, or it is equivalent to lower tax burden. Bababa yung taxes natin unless kupalin tayo ng mga nakaupo. Pero supposedly, bababa siya. Pag bumaba yung taxes, that would mean, or that's equivalent to more take-home pay and stronger purchasing power. Meaning, mas marami ang neto na mauuwi ng mga manggagawa at mas marami, meaning mas marami o mas magiging malakas ang purchasing power or yung pambili natin. Ng, for example, pagkain. Gusto mong gawin yung LCIF, 6,000 pesos, around 6,000 pesos or less, pwede ka nang magkaroon ng 20 kilos ng beef at 30 tray ng 30 eggs. Something like that. So, LCIF is not just a health issue. It is a national financial strategy. Hence, I said, magkapatid, magkakonekta ang personal wellness and personal finance. Now, what do I recommend? Use part of the other budgets, education, some of the education budget, total information naman ng LCIF, or probably, and mas dapat, ika nga ni Senator Lacson, dapat wala na ang pork barrel. So kung tatanggalin ang pork barrel o babawasan man lang ang pork barrel, it could be used to launch a national LCIF campaign through barangays, public school, and state media, no, like PTV4, Presidential Communications Office, etc., etc., yung mga state media. Okay? Educate the public on real prevention, not just pill-based maintenance. So, yun yung recommendation ko. Konti lang naman na budget. Gawa lang tayo ng TV show. Gawa lang tayo ng social media campaign. Konting budget lang yon, konting kurot lang sa pork barrel yon, konting kurot lang sa education budget yon. And then we will save what? As a financial planner, for example, ang cost niyan is about, sabi mo ng 1 million pesos per year. I think that's enough. Kung walang kurakot. 1 million pesos per year or 1.2 million pesos per year, then we will save about 200 billion. Aba, risk-reward analysis, napakaganda nun. We are only, yung cost-benefit analysis, 1.2 billion yung cost, benefits 200 billion. So, that's a good cost-benefit scenario. Okay? Final reminder before I end my go live. And it's been a while since I did a go live. Dahil lang, ayoko kasi i-vlog to dahil mahaba. So, final reminder. As I've said, wellness or health is wealth. Finance is health. Uulitin ko. Health is wealth. Wealth is health. It's connected. It is supposed to have a symbiotic relationship. Personal wellness and personal finance. It should have a symbiotic relationship. So when the government promises free healthcare, but diseases keep rising, somebody still pays. Meron pa rin nagbabayad doon sa free healthcare na yon. And that somebody is all of us. Lalo na yung mga taxpayer. Hindi yung mga tambay Yung mga tambay na wala namang binabayarang tax. Hindi naman nagbabanat ng boto. Hindi sila kasali. Okay? So somebody has to pay. It's the taxpayers. Well, somehow kasali pa rin yung mga tambay kasi bumibili pa rin sila ng mga kung ano-ano. And may tax pa rin yan. So, yeah, kasali pa rin sila. Okay? I'm correcting myself. Start with prevention. Start with education, as I've said back in 2022. Start with your own example. And yung sinabi kong pasabog sa DOH, it will be in line by start with your own example, which I will do, which I will post sa mga susunod na araw. So, yun.